Hello and welcome to another Thursday Tips video by Anything World. My name is Jay Santos, I'm the Developer Relations Manager here, and today we're going to talk about the difference between update and fixed update and late update. So let's get started by going over each one of them. So update is called every frame, meaning every time your screen is redrawn, your update functions are called, meaning that if your game is running at 60 frames per second, your update functions are going to be called 60 times per second. If it's running at 30 frames per second, the update functions are going to be called 30 times per second. And you should use update functions for player input, since you don't want your players to have the sensation that their updates are not being registered. So if update is called every frame, then certainly the player will have an immediate feedback of its updates. Next we have fixed update. And these are called on every physics step, on every physics update, which by default happens 50 times per second. This is configurable under project settings, fixed time steps, and you should use fixed updates for all the physics simulations in your game, because it is the update that the physics engine uses. So if you run physics simulation on update, you may run your simulation out of step with the physics engine. It may cause undesirable results. And last you have late update. So your late update functions are called every frame after all your updates have been called. So unless you force the order in which the scripts are going to be run within Unity, you cannot control the order on which the updates are called. So some of the steps or processes that you want to do on your update functions, you want to do with the certainty that they are going to happen after everything else on your updates happen. And that's where late update comes in. And this is ideal to use with camera follows and UI updates, because once you get into a late update, you're sure that your world state is not going to change. All the game objects have moved, all the scores have been tallied, so if a camera needs to follow an object and late update, you're sure of that object position. If you need to update the UI over the score or time, you're sure that's not going to change anymore on the late updates. So now we're going to jump into Unity to visually show you the difference between update and physics update. So here you have the same game running on different frame rates. On top you have it running at 30 frames per second, and on bottom 60 frames per second. They're doing the same logic, which is applying a transform translate on the car every update. And as you can see, because on the 60 frames per second version, update is being executed more times than on the 30 frames per second version, the car on the bottom are moving faster. So maybe you don't want that behavior to happen in your game in order to have fairness in your game. So because if you have say a multiplayer game and the cars are moving based on the update function, if I have a better computer, my car is going to run faster than somebody that's running at a lower frame rate. So this is what the update looks like on different frame rates. Now, this is what the game looks like applying the same logic, the transform.translate on the car, but now on the fixed update function instead of the update function. And as you can see, there is no difference of behavior regardless of your frame rate. If your game is running at 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second, the cars behave exactly the same. And this is why if you want to do this sort of simulation in your game, you need to do it on the fixed update. And that's it for today's video. I hope it was useful and interesting, and it helps you on your game development journey. If you liked it, why don't you follow us on our social medias? You can find all the links on the link tree, link at the bottom of the screen. You can also join us on Discord. We have a very friendly, active, and amazing community. You can find all this information on the QR code on the screen as well. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next video.